Surah,
والشمس
the sun. Surah number 91. Ayat,
آية
verses 1 to 15. Total 15. Here 1 to 10. In, with, by, of,
بسم بسم
the name,
بسم
in the name,
الله الله بسم الله
the name of,
الله بسم الله
in the name of,
الله الرحمن
the most gracious, the entirely merciful, the compassionate, the beneficent, all merciful,
الرحيم
the most merciful, the especially merciful, the all compassionate, most rewarding, the dispenser of grace.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of
الله
the most gracious, the most merciful. In the name of
الله
the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. In the name of God, the most gracious, the dispenser of grace. In the name of
الله
the compassionate, the merciful. In the name of
الله
most gracious, most rewarding. In the name of God, the all-merciful, the all-compassionate. In the name of
الله
the beneficent, the merciful.
والشمس
By the sun,
وضحاها
and its brightness. Verse number 1. By the sun and his glorious splendor. 1. By the sun and its brightness. 1. And by the sun and its brightness. 1. Consider the sun and its radiant brightness. 1. By the sun and its brightness. 1. By the sun and its rising brightness. 1. By the sun and his brightness.
والقمر
By the moon, and the moon,
إذا
as when
تلاها
it follows it, as it follows the sun. 2. By the moon as she follows him. 2. And the moon when it follows it. 2. And by the moon as it follows it, the sun. 2. And the moon as it reflects the sun. 2. And by the moon when it follows it. 2. And by the moon as it follows it. 2. And the moon when she borrows light from him.
والنهار
And by the day, and the day,
إذا
as when
جلاها
it shows up sun's brightness, it displays it. 3. By the day as it shows up the sun's glory. 3. And the day when it displays it. 3. And by the day as it shows up the sun's brightness. 3. Consider the day as it reveals the world. 3. And by the day when it displays it. 3. And by the day as it reveals its glory. 3. And the day when it exposes it to view.
والليل
By the night, and the night,
إذا
as when
يغشاها
it conceals it. 4. By the night as it conceals it. 4. and the night when it covers it. 4. And by the night as it conceals it, the sun. 4. And the night as it veils it darkly. 4. And by the night when it covers that is, conceals it. 4. And by the night when it draws a veil over it. 4. And the night when it draws a veil over it. The heaven, and the heaven,
وما
and him, and he
بناها
who built it, constructed it. 5. By the firmament and its wonderful structure. 5. And the heaven and he who constructed it. 5. And by the heaven and him who built it. 5. Consider the sky and its wondrous make. 5. And by the sky and he who constructed it. 5. By the sky and how he built it. 5. And the heaven and its make.
والأرض
By the earth, and the earth,
وما
and him, and who, and he
طحاها
who spread it.
والأرض وما طحاها
6. By the earth and its wide expanse. 6. And the earth and he who spread it. 6. And by the earth and him who spread it. 6. And the earth and all its expanse. 6. And by the earth and he who spread it. 6. And by the earth and how he spread it. 6. And the earth and its extension.
ونفس
And by the person, and soul, and the soul,
وما
and him, and he who
سواها
proportioned it, who perfected him in proportion. 7. By the soul, and the proportion and order given to it. 7. And the soul and he who proportioned it. 7. And by nafs, Adam or a person, or a soul, etc., and him who perfected him in proportion. 7. Consider the human self, 4, and how it is formed in accordance with what it is meant to be. 7. And by the soul and he who proportioned it. 7. By the soul and how he formed it. 7. And the soul and its perfection.
فألهمها
Then he inspired him, and he inspired it,
فجورها
its impurity, its wickedness, to distinguish its wickedness,
وتقواها
its purity, right, and its righteousness. 8. And its enlightenment as to its wrong and its right. 8. And he inspired it to distinguish its wickedness and its righteousness. 8. Then he showed him what is wrong for him and what is right for him. 8. And how it is imbued with moral failings as well as with consciousness of God. 8. And inspired it with discernment of its wickedness and its righteousness. 8. Then inspired it to understand what was right and wrong for it. 8. So he reveals to it its way of evil and its way of good.
قد
Indeed,
أفلح
he succeeds
من
who
زكاها
purifies it, purifies his own self. 9. Truly he succeeds that purifies it. 9. Indeed, he succeeds who purifies it. 9. Indeed, he succeeds who purifies his own self, that is, and performs all that Allah ordered by following the true faith of Islamic monotheism, and by doing righteous good deeds. 9. To a happy state shall indeed attain he who causes the self to grow in purity. 9. He has succeeded who purifies it. 9. He who purifies it will indeed be successful. 9. He is indeed successful who causes it to grow.
وقد
And indeed,
خاب
he fails.
من
Who?
دساها
Corrupts his own self, buries it. And he fails that corrupts it. And indeed, he fails who buries it. And indeed he fails who corrupts his own self, that is, disobeys what Allah has ordered by rejecting the true faith of Islamic monotheism, or by following polytheism, etc., or by doing every kind of evil wicked deeds. And truly lost is he who buries it in darkness. And he has failed who instills it with corruption. And he who corrupts it is sure to fail. And he indeed fails who buries it. Please keep listening repeatedly from start to end of this surah, until you understand the full meaning of the following same verses. Surah,
والشمس
the sun. Surah number 91. Ayat,
آية
verses. Total 15. Here, 11 to 15. Surah,
والشمس
the sun. Surah number 91. Ayat, verses 1 to 15. Total 15. Here 1 to 10.
كذبت
Denied,
ثمود بطغواها
by their transgression, through their transgression. 11. The
ثمود
people rejected their prophet through their inordinate wrongdoing. 11. To this truth gave the lie, in their overweening arrogance, the tribe of Thamud. 11. Thamud people denied their prophet through their transgression, by rejecting the true faith of Islamic monotheism, and by following polytheism, and by committing every kind of sin. 11. Thamud denied their prophet by reason of their transgression. 11. The Thamud tribe rejected the truth because of their arrogance. 11. Thamud rejected the truth in their inordinacy. 11. Thamud denied the truth by their transgression.
كذبت ثمود إذ
When
بعث
went forth, sent forth, was sent forth,
أشقاها
the most wicked man among them. most wicked of them, the most wicked of them. 12. Behold, the most wicked man among them was deputed for impiety. 12. When the most wicked of them was sent forth. 12. When the most wicked man among them went forth to kill the she-camel. 12. When that most hapless wretch from among them rushed forward to commit his evil deed. 12. When the most wretched of them was sent forth. 12. When the most wicked man among them rose up. 12. When the basest of them broke forth with mischief.
إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال
But said
لهم
to them,
رسول
Messenger, the messenger
الله
of
الله ناقة
she-camel, the she-camel. That is the she-camel. It is the she-camel.
الله وسقياها
And her drink, and its drink, and bar it not from having its drink. 13. But the messenger of Allah said to them, It is a she-camel of Allah, and bar her not from having her drink. 13. But the messenger of Allah said to them, It is the she-camel of Allah, so let her drink. 13. But the messenger of Allah, Salah, said to them, Be cautious. Fear the evil and that is the she-camel of Allah. Do not harm it, and bar it not from having its drink. 13. Although God's apostle had told them, It is a she-camel belonging to God, so let her drink, and do her no harm. 13. And the messenger of Allah, that is, Salah, said to them, Do not harm the she-camel of Allah, or prevent her from her drink. 13. Then the messenger of God said to them, This is God's she-camel, let her drink. 13. So Allah's messenger said to them, Leave alone Allah's she-camel, and give her to drink.
فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه
Then they denied him,
فعقروها
and they killed, hamstrung it.
and they hamstrung her,
فدمدم
so destroyed
عليهم
them,
ربهم
their Lord, their sin,
فسواها
and made them equal in destruction, and leveled them. Then they rejected him as a false prophet, and they hamstrung her. So their Lord, on account of their crime, obliterated their traces, and made them equal in destruction, high and low. 14. But they denied him, and hamstrung her. So their Lord destroyed them for their sins, and leveled them with the ground. 14. Then they denied him, and they killed it. So their Lord destroyed them because of their sin, and made them equal in destruction, i.e. all grades of people, rich and poor, strong and weak, etc. 14. But they gave him the lie, and cruelly slaughtered her, whereupon their sustainer visited them with utter destruction for this their sin, destroying them all alike. 14. But they denied him, and hamstrung her. So their Lord brought down upon them destruction for their sin, and made it equal upon all of them. 13 But they gave him a lie, and hamstrung the she-camel. So their Lord destroyed them for their crime, and razed their city to the ground. 14 But they called him a liar, and slaughtered her. So their Lord destroyed them for their sin, and leveled them with the ground.
ولا
And not,
يخاف
he fears,
عقباها
the consequences thereof, its consequences.
ولا يخاف عقباها
15 And for him is no fear of its consequences. 15 And he does not fear its consequences. 15 And he, Allah, feared not the consequences thereof. 15 For none of them had any fear of what might befall them. 15 And he does not fear the consequence thereof. 15 He did not fear the consequences. 15 And he fears not its consequence.
ولا يخاف عقباها ولا يخاف عقباها
Please keep listening repeatedly from start to end of this surah, until you understand the full meaning of the following same verses.